Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you guys how you can find products to sell on Amazon without having to spend any money on software or websites that will help you find products. I really understand not wanting to spend any money on product research tools because that just means you can put more money into your products. And I'm just going to share a few simple ways that you guys can find good products. So the first way is just Google Amazon bestsellers. It'll bring you to this page right here. And then along here you have every category. So these are the best sellers in toys and games, electronics, whatever, but you can go into individual categories. Let's look. I always go for sports and outdoors just because I kind of know it well and I enjoy it. Once again, the same principles would still apply. You'd still be looking for products $16 to $60. You want products that are light, small, so you're not paying a bunch of fees on them. So products that are, that's not expensive enough for us to make a decent profit. And you still want stuff that all the same criteria as when using a paid research tool, but you wouldn't want to go for this because it's huge. You could probably, I guess, get it in a fairly small box, but you'd probably be paying a fairly high fee. Please don't sell these. Everyone's trying to sell these days. Something like this. That's something you could look into, and simply you would click on it. You'd find swimming goggles. You compare, first of all, reviews. So they're actually not too bad. This one's quite high, so is this one. But there's some of their, these are sponsored, but this one is selling decently with a fairly high number, a fairly low number of reviews, although its price isn't that high, so I wouldn't recommend it in this price range. And then for those of you who haven't paid for the Jungle Scout Chrome extension, which analyzes everything on this page, and it gives its estimated sales, number of reviews. It's very helpful, but for those of you who don't want to buy it, there is this one called Unicorn Smasher. You can just Google it and download it, and it's free. And so it's basically the same thing. It isn't referred to as the most reliable one, but you can't really complain when you get it for free. And I've found its estimates for sales and price and all that, or not price, but sales, reviews, revenue, all that stuff. I found it to be fairly consistent to Jungle Scout, so it's definitely a nice alternative because it's free. So not necessarily showing you guys the best products today, I'm just showing you how you can go about finding them on your own. So yeah, looking through the top seller categories, looking at what's selling well, and still trying to find products with low reviews and optimal prices, and then stuff that's going to not be charging you a ton in fees when it's at Amazon. So you could go back into any department and do this in any section. Just make sure you're not looking in restricted sections. Another way that you can find decent products to sell is by checking other websites, right? So if you were to go to eBay, it's just a good way where you can find ideas of what's selling online. I'm not too familiar with eBay, but you can just do a look around. Gives you lots of good product ideas that you can look into, and then you got to run your own analysis on it just based on how much sales they're estimated to get, and the competition level, which is most easily determined by the amount of reviews on a product. So yeah, you can get good ideas for products on eBay as well. And then another way that, actually the way that I found my second product was a combination of a couple things. Basically, it's just a hobby of mine. It relates around one of my hobbies, and I looked into the product, noticed that there wasn't a lot of competition, and there was a decent amount of sales. And since I consider myself somewhat of an expert in that area, I figured it's a good product to enter into, just because although it may not have had as good of sales and as low of competition as some of the products that might be suggested to you by doing your own research or using a paid research tool like Jungle Scout, I still find that because I have some expertise in it and I know what makes that product a good product, that it's a good product for me to sell, because I know the ins and outs of the product. I know what makes people want to buy it. And so, if you have a bit of expertise in a subject, you might want to consider selling a product that you're somewhat passionate about, as long as the metrics are right, that it's not an overly competitive niche, and as long as there's some good sales. And then the last way that I can really think of finding product ideas is literally just, if you're ever out and about or around your house and you see something that you think is an interesting product opportunity, write it down, keep a little tab of notes in your phone, and then when you get the time, come into Amazon, search up here, find whatever product. Maybe you find a cool water bottle. Obviously this is not what I recommend doing, but you can then compare all the products. In this case, I would say, okay, it has way too many reviews to be able to compete with, but if you happen to stumble upon a product that has low reviews, that might be something you want to consider selling. So a lot of it is just keeping your mind open to ideas when you come across them in your everyday life. You might stumble upon a product that is a great seller, and then you can check the metrics on it and make sure it's a good product to sell on Amazon. So I hope that little explanation of how you can find products without using a paid research tool has helped you. You really just got to be creative, and I recommend finding products that aren't too competitive, so that for your first product you can have a little bit of success, and then from there you'll have some confidence and then can move on to more competitive niches. But make sure you do your due diligence. Make sure you're not sourcing a product that is copyrighted or anything like that, any patents or things that are going to get you in trouble. Make sure you look up duty fees before you find out your product has an 80% duty charge on it and you're out a bunch of money. And just make sure that you're paying very close attention to the estimated sales, which would be found from the BSR bestseller rank of that product. Or if you have, this unicorn smasher thing, for example, it would use the BSR to estimate the sales. And then just make sure you're sourcing products that have a good profit margin. So all my other videos tend to cover a lot of the other subjects that I've spoken about. I hope this video has been useful for you guys, and subscribe to see future content. I'm going to keep pumping out the Amazon FBA videos for you guys. All right, have a good day. See you guys.